Well, hello there, YouTube. It's Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. And in today's video, I'm going to remove, test, and install the neutral safety switch, as well as replace the shift linkage bushings on both the lower and the upper part of the linkage. And I'm going to do all that in less than 15 minutes. But before I get started on that, I want to thank you guys for subscribing, those that are. If you haven't subscribed, do so and click the bell because I'm going to be starting this car live on YouTube and we're getting closer and closer to that event. So I'd like you to join me for that. If you would like to support this channel, the best way to support me is just to subscribe. If you want to monetarily contribute to this channel, the best way to do it is to use my PayPal link that I have. Other than that, you know, there's a thanks button on all my videos as well. So if a specific video might have helped you along the way and saved you a buck or two, you know, maybe you click that thanks button and then we can all be happy. All right, you guys, I think I should just get this video going and I'll catch you guys on the next one. So this is the neutral safety switch. And on here, you've got your linkage that goes up to your shifter that comes out of the floor there. And then there's this little clip like this, which fits on the back here, so you can take that off. I'll show you how an easy way to put these on and take off on the bench. All right, let's take a closer look at all this. In order to take this off, you'll have to hold it from both sides and then use a 10mm open end wrench should do it. I already have this all loose, but you can't just loosen it and take it off. Take the bolt completely off. You can see the orientation. This is how mine was. This is the back of the engine, or the back of the transmissions over here. This is the front. Now we'll take this off. You can see it sits on this little pin right here. That's all there is to it. Now in your vehicle, this will be sitting like this, and there'll be a black plug sitting on here, right? To get that plug out, you got to turn this clockwise. Okay, counterclockwise, clockwise. Then you can pull this out. And then I would suggest that you grease those points so it runs more smooth. But that's how that works. So then after you take it out, go ahead and put it back where it belongs. And now these are two 10mm, and they have a large washer behind them. These are all loose because I put this on here to demonstrate. And that's it. I'll put these back where they came from. The easiest way to remove that clip is to remove this. Now I know a guy sells a special little tool to slip in there, but really all you need is a flathead and just, at least it makes it easier. You can pop it off actually if you're strong enough. Put that in there, just open it up enough to where you can just get it up over it like that, see? Then she'll come up just like that. That easy. Same way for putting it on. Get it positioned, push it, just like that. No need for any special tools. Let's do some tests to see if it's functioning properly. When this thing's all the way this way, so this switches, right? When your gear shift will switch, when it's all the way this way, that should be in park. So that's our safety switch. So let's test it, and that would be across this one and this one. There you go. So this is park. Reverse. That's these other two. That'll turn on your backup lights. There's neutral. Pretty simple. Not much to it. So this switch is good. Let's look at it really close. I just wanted to point out that this here is a rubber. See that? This whole thing is rubber. I don't know if you can buy this as a part, but that's a rubber dust and water shield. So you want to make sure that that's all intact so you don't get any moisture or anything inside of here. It would be a good idea to put in some dielectric grease just to make sure. And I will put in some grease or something on this thing here because that's what turns. You can see that there probably was a little bit at one time right there. See it? That's what I would do. So make sure that that rubber is intact. Grease those little points. Put a little bit of dielectric grease on the pins at least. Next are these bushings that go in here, and this other one goes up where the lever is that comes down from the top. It'll be on the other end of this rod here, and it will fit up on the grommet there for this. That's the part number for those two. You will need two. It doesn't matter which way this goes on. Either way is fine. The first thing you have to do is take out the old one. If yours is all hard and all that, it'll come out pretty easily. Otherwise, you can just cut it off or however you want to do it. So I'm going to take this one out and then I'll show you how I put the new one in. First thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of petroleum jelly on here. And I'll put that in here. And then rest it up against that. And this here is a 19 millimeter, which is a little larger than the size of that bushing. I'll put that in there, so that way there when I compress it, it can come through. And then just compress. I don't know if I can do it from that angle. Let me flip it around. There it is. See it go through? I'll show you. There you go. Diaphragms on both sides, or I mean that ledge is on both sides of that. Perfect. So you see how that lip is there, and the same thing on this side. Right, so you got to have that lip all the way around, right? You can see it is. Same thing on that side. That's a good install right there. This here is a red lithium grease, and I'm going to put just a little bit on that shaft. So now I'll put that through here. And we'll put this on. See how much easier that is doing it outside? There you go. Nice and tight. No rattle. And that's just about how it goes. Just like that. Feels very good. Done. And that's pretty much exactly how that thing would work. Just like that. Remember, when you're ready to put the new one on, turn it clockwise so you can put it on and then lock it down by going counterclockwise. Now once you've got a position, right now this is not exactly where it will go, it'll be like this, but once you got this, put it in neutral, which is pretty much straight up and down, and then you can check it. You guys can do this. You'll hear it. Listen. All right, so I'm in neutral. And when I'm in neutral and it's on here, go ahead and swing it all the way to the left, right? Pull this and tighten it all the way to the left. And this is a good starting point. It should probably work just fine. Bring it to the left like that. Snug it down. You don't have to crank on these, you guys. Just go ahead and snug it down. There you go. So you can do this under the car, right? You can test it all ahead of time. There you go. Now go ahead and put it in park. That's park. Here you go. When you put your plug on here, you've got lights and stuff up there where your gear shift knob is. So, but this is going to be pretty darn close. You know, like I said, just going to loosen that a little bit if it's not quite there, but it should be pretty darn close. Of course, we'll adjust all this later when I get this all installed. For the final, I'll show you how I adjust it, make sure the lights and everything line up. Of course, you know, you're going to be able to either start your car or not, but you still want your backup lights to come on when they're supposed to. That's the other one, right, when you're in reverse. So you want to make sure that everything works, obviously. So when this thing's turned all the way to the right, that's taking it off, and this is back on. Take that off. Now your bolt pretty much goes through in the neutral position. There we go. Now I'll leave this on, but this here I won't put on until after it's all inside the vehicle. So now let's move on to the other part of the linkage. So that part of the linkage there is coming from the gear shift knob up above. But normally there's a drive shaft that comes right through here, right? So this is looking from the engine compartment towards the back. And then you say, oh, Tony, you know, your method for putting on that bushing is not going to work here. That's true. And you'll notice there's no bushing in there. And when I took the transmission out and the linkage, as I did, it just crumbled and just went everywhere. So there is another way to do it. This is doing exactly the same thing, but you're going to have this go in through the hole here, and this will line right up, and this will allow it to go through. So it's exactly the same thing, but it's just going to take more time because you got to screw this in, right? You got to twist it. So let's go ahead now and take this under the vehicle and install it. I put some petroleum jelly on that one side. That's just a flat washer. And this is just a big nut. Another flat washer just so my nut can go on there. And then finally my nut. Right, I'm just lined up just like I was when I did the other one. No macro shot today, guys. There it is. Yep, it's in there. Perfect. You can see right here. It looks really good, guys. Perfect. Thanks again for watching.